smiles, everyone. We must be careful how we present ourselves.
Why did Divine Victoria call the Exalted Council? She's kept Orlais from bothering us for the last 2 years.
At increasing political cost, yes. She has done all she can, but the Exalted Council has become necessary. Orlais would control us, and based on their many marriage proposals, they have specific plans for you. Our real concern is Ferelden. They would see us disbanded entirely.
Inquisitor, it has been too long. I hope the years have been kind to you.
How have you been, Mother Giselle?
I spent last summer in Emprise du Lion, distributing food sent from the Exalted Plains. The Dales are finally recovering.
Corypheus left a great deal of damage for us to repair. I appreciate your efforts.
And I yours, Your Worship. I should mention that your forces at Suladin Keep were of great help. Please give my compliments to Baron Deschedin. Divine Victoria asked me to greet you on her behalf. She is currently attending to the Ferelden ambassador's concerns.
You can probably just call her Leliana in private conversation.
You can, Inquisitor. I prefer to use her divine name. Our last divine once joked about why I insisted upon calling her Justinia. She called it my way of reassuring her that I had not completely forgotten who was in charge.
How do you think Divine Victoria has done these last 2 years?
It is hardly for me to say, Inquisitor.
With respect, that's never stopped you before, Mother Giselle.
Victoria has proven adept at winning allies with both her intelligence and her faith. It is a blessing in these trying times. We are lucky to have her.
I'll speak to Divine Victoria.
I believe she would appreciate that, Your Worship. The Divine sees the good that you can do and have done. Duke Cyril will wish to greet you on behalf of Orlais. I believe he is currently speaking with the Tevinter ambassador. Many of your friends have returned as well. I hope you have a chance to speak with them before the Exalted Council begins.
The Imperium sent an ambassador?
Yes, Your Worship. Dorian Pavas has taken the chance to return from Tevinter. It will be good to see him again. I owe him my apology. I allowed my distrust of Tevinter to cloud my judgment. He took a great risk coming to help us, and deserved better treatment.
You're going to apologize? To Dorian?
I have little patience for those who cannot admit they were wrong, Your Worship. Myself included. I will have to make my apologies somewhere public. He will want an audience for his reaction.
Who has returned for the Exalted Council?
Your dwarven friend, Master Tetras. For one, I understand he spent much of the last few years in Kirkwall. I believe Sir Blackwall has returned as well, although he now uses the name Tom Ranier. Enjoy time with them while you can, Your Worship. I doubt you will have the chance once the Exalted Council is underway.
Thank you, Mother Giselle.
Your Worship, a final question, if I may. This Exalted Council, Ferelden would have the Inquisition disband. Orlais sees its power as another feather in a chevalier's helmet. What do you wish to do with the Inquisition?
You once told me about the first Inquisition that took place 800 years ago. You said that when their battle was over, that Inquisition soldiers sheathed their swords and went home. If our battle is truly over, perhaps it's time for us to do the same.
Thank you. Make her watch over you, Inquisitor. I will not keep you any longer.
It's been quite a day so far, has it not? I've been speaking with representatives from everywhere.
Have they given you trouble?
Not at all. It is quite alarming. It means they are all saving themselves up for later. Would you walk with me? I should like to take some air before the Exalted Council becomes inescapable. The palace has been most accommodating. We are, after all, here at their insistence, but the ministers may... No. No more talk of the council. This meeting was to spend time with you in a more relaxed fashion.
Is this in your daily notes? 3 to 4 o'clock, idle chats with the Inquisitor.
Of course not. Not precisely. The truth is, there is a small entertainment happening tonight, to which I may be able to find a pair of invitations.
You'd like me to go with you?
Very much so. In all the years you worked with Orlais, you had so little time to enjoy its culture.
Perhaps you're right. These meetings and talks don't allow for much leisure time.
And then back to Skyhold without a moment's pause to take in where we are. With all that's been happening, I promised myself a single evening out. I'd very much like to go with a friend.
And what is this small entertainment?
Something to ease our minds. I would very much like to surprise you with the details.
Thank you for thinking of me. I'd be delighted to attend.
Splendid! I will arrange things at once. The past years have been so busy. We have earned at least a few moments of rest.
A calm night out sounds...
Oh, bravo! Bravo!
Was the woman in gold playing a king? Who was the man in feathers?
Oh, it's all very simple. The first actor's mask is determined by... well, I will lend you the program guide. But tell me, did you enjoy the performance?
That was... one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Truly.
That part with the glittery... and they actually set fire to... Yes, I truly enjoyed it.
Then I call tonight a great success. Oh, look! The encore signal!
The Prince of Starkhaven wrote to you again.
Of course he did. Just put that one in the pile with letters from the Merchants Guild.
And the captain of the city guard had a very colorful message for me to deliver to you as well.
Inquisitor! Andraste's ass, am I ever glad to see you?
And the Inquisitor comes to the rescue once again.
Is that what you call it?
This is Bran Caven. Until recently, he was the Viscount
Provisional Viscount.
of Kirkwall.
And what are you doing now?
I have resumed my post as Seneschal now that Master Tethras has been elected Viscount.
You're the Viscount of Kirkwall now.
Well, it seems the two of you have a great deal to discuss. Why don't I just leave you to it?
So, it turns out you fund enough reconstruction efforts in a city-state, the nobles give you the worst job they can think of.
That's fantastic. You'll make an excellent Viscount.
I think the nobility figured, after Dumar and Perrin, what's the worst that could happen if we put the dwarf in charge? They voted me in because I got the harbor and businesses up and running again. They want shit fixed, and I can do that. Anyway, I was hoping I'd catch you before the summit got underway. I got you a sort of present. It's official recognition of your title and holdings in Kirkwall. Congratulations. You're a Comtesse now.
You can't actually do that without...
Too late. Already did it. I also drafted an alliance with the new elf-led city council of Wycombe, so Clan Llewellyn has some political muscle to flex now.
That needs to be reviewed by...
You were leaving us to talk, remember?
This is possibly too much, Varric. I don't know what to say.
That's nothing. Practically nothing. Don't mention it. Oh, that reminds me. It's the key to the city.
You can't give that away without approval from the council and a special ceremony.
It's just symbolic anyway.
It controls one of the giant chain nets in the harbor.
Really? That is so much better than I thought.
Thank you. I'm touched. A little bit horrified by this key now, but still touched.
Please don't give anything else away.
I don't know how this council thing is going to end for the Inquisition. But whatever gets decided, you've got a place lined up in Kirkwall if you want it. Also, control of the harbor, I guess. Anyway, you should meet with the diplomats. And we'll get in a game of Wicked Grace before I go back, though, right?
I wouldn't miss it.
Don't bet any public buildings this time.
Fashionably late. I thought you weren't gonna show.
I gave you my word we would talk, and I never break my word.
Easy there. I was just teasing. So tell me everything that happened while I was away. And Geralf strolls up, hands filled with ripe squashes, and says, "Sir, I must report that it was an utter boondoggle." Maybe you had to be there.
It's good to see you fitting in.
It has its warts, that's for sure. But this life feels right. Like it's where I'm supposed to be. Anyway, it's nice to be back. Though I'm not sure what to think of this council. The Wardens will be missing me, but they aren't going to keep me away from a friend who might need my sword arm.
Your aim is atrocious. I'm embarrassed for you.
Think you can do better?
Inquisitor, I see you have time for afternoon refreshments.
Did you know that a merchant in the courtyard is selling gemstones the same color as your eyes?
What an odd thing to say. I must see this for myself.
You're useful to have around, Cole.
I still don't understand Orlesians and their masks, but it makes him happy. And I needed the table.
For breadcrumbs?
Birds like breadcrumbs.
Oh, Cole, good day. I didn't see you there.
But I saw you, as lovely as your songs.
I'm pleased for both of you.
The world has ample pain, Inquisitor. The kindness found in Cole is rare indeed.
Her songs bring happiness to those who hear, and I can make her happy in return.
Well then, carry on.
Your Worship, I'm glad you're here. Listen, I need you to keep the Chief distracted while we sneak this dragon skull through the room behind him.
I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
It's for his birthday.
I'll see what I can do, Krem.
All right, here he comes. Just keep him talking. He loves talking.
Hey, boss. Good to see you.
Most mages hate the thick of battle, but I can't imagine hanging back. It's nice to get your hands dirty.
That's why I like you, boss. You swing a sword. It's a weird sword made out of magic, but still.
Did you know that Ferelden has its own names for lords? The country is divided into Tairnirs, governed by Tairns. Inside those are cities and Arlings ruled by Arls, and then there's the Banorn. It's a large area of countryside ruled by multiple bands.
Good to know.
It's good to see that the Veil has largely healed, now that most of the major rifts are closed. You might think otherwise, but the Veil isn't technically a physical barrier. It's more like a magical vibration that repels the Fade. Do you think news of the Exalted Council could affect the lyrium shipments from Orzammar?
Maybe.
It's fascinating to see the remnants of Syrian culture here. Most of it was deliberately erased during Orlesian unification under the reign of Mafarath's son Isarath.
Uh-huh.
Surprise! Happy birthday, Chief!
Oh, you guys. You got me.
Oh,
Is everything all right?
Yes. Well, I wanted to speak with you, and now you're here.
This seems serious.
It's not about me. It's about you. Maybe you should sit.
I can stand.
Maybe I should sit. Inquisitor, I want you to know that I am your friend. I will always be your friend.
Oh, well, that's...
So I hope to give you sound advice on this momentous day. Do what is in your heart, my friend, no matter what anyone might tell you.
I really can't imagine what you mean.
I'm talking about marriage.
Marriage?
Of course, it is Sarah. Maker knows how it will end, but that doesn't mean... You're not proposing to anyone. I am going to kill Varric. Why do I believe everything he says? Why?
He said I was going to propose.
He mentioned a proposal. I suppose I filled in the blanks. Or he did this on purpose. That dwarf gets entirely too much joy from my discomfort.
I might get married. I've thought about it.
I suspected as much. Being Inquisitor has brought you good things. Many good things. But only a few have been by your choice. Take what happiness you can from those and do not let them go. That is all I meant to say. Advice from a friend for the days to come.
Here's you, and everyone. Glad to be back, all stuffed together. With the pressure full on. Again. Don't worry, Herald of Everywhere. I came prepared. I know what everyone needs. Just like best times.
I expected a roof.
It's early. Anyway, that was a good run. It's all been a good run. I needed that. And I need... You know it's ending, right? We can say it won't, but knobs in places like this, all they do is end things. Even I can tell, and I'm... No, I won't be stupid anymore. I wrote it down so I wouldn't, so I can just tell you, and it's done.
What is this? You look serious.
8, 9, 10. Is she done talking? Continue. I like new, but hate change. But I can't stop it this time. Usually, I hope it doesn't matter, because lots of times I feel I've seen things before. So who cares? It'll all come round again. But every day, I've never felt this with her. And if it's always only once, then I can't... I didn't... The rest is just sketches. There's flowers, and I think it's your butt. So... marry me? I mean, it's whatever, but you and me are somehow really, really good, and all these endings can get right off that. Really, Inky? For real? Want to get married?
You... that's done for titles and heirs. Contracts have nothing to do with love.
That's what they say, and they can have it. I don't want their thing. I want ours. And I know it's true. That's what this was all about, yeah? Knowing what's true. Besides, you're the Inquisitor. Which of them will tell you no?
You're a loony.
Tell me, do. That's a yes?
All the yeses. Every freaking one.
That's our bells, knobbers! We friggin' win!
You there! You're to dodge, not catch. If that ball were a fireball, you'd be dead.
You found a dog.
They don't breed Mabari in Olay. The merchant said he was abandoned. Perhaps his owner's tired of the novelty.
Poor boy. Well, he seems happy now.
Another Ferelden trapped at the Winter Palace. I couldn't leave him to that fate. Besides, I think he likes me.
You could take him to Ferelden sometime. He should know where he came from.
I did promise my sister a visit. She might try to spoil you. Remember who you report to. The Inquisition will change after this. I'm not yet sure what that will mean. Whatever happens, our people, you, Liliana, Josephine, will have my support. In whatever form you require.
If your support comes with that of your new friend, I'm sold. I know a useful ally when I see one.
You can help. Dodge this, and I'll find overpriced Orlesian dog treats before we go.
Darling, you made it. Excellent. I scheduled this appointment ages ago, and they do appreciate punctuality.
Appointment?
With the Imperial Garden Spa, of course. You work so hard, my dear. I wanted to treat you.
I've never heard of a fancy spa serving elves.
You are the Inquisitor, darling. Savior of the Empire. They won't turn you away.
What are the cheese wheels for?
It pains me that you even have to ask. You've clearly been living too long in barely civilized conditions.
Did you hear something?
Relax, darling. It's spa day. How have you been? It seems ages since we've spoken. I know you were cruelly disappointed when Solus left.
I'm still not over what happened.
You deserve so much better, darling. But let's not dwell on the past.
You must be keeping very busy.
Someone has to keep the mess that's been made of Thaddeus's institutions of magic from flying apart. Don't you feel better, my dear? This place really does work miracles.
What happened?
Darling, it's spa day. Don't fret. You'll undo all the good they've done. Come along, Inquisitor. They have other appointments, you know.
Divine Victoria, am I interrupting?
Of course not, Inquisitor. I was catching up with Redcliffe's Arl. He's here to represent Ferelden at the summit.
Inquisitor, good to meet you.
How are things in Redcliffe, my lord?
Blessedly quiet. The mayor conveys his greetings. Redcliffe remembers its savior.
I had hoped to steal a moment of the Divine's time.
Very well. We'll continue this later, your perfection.
Many are frightened of the Inquisition's power, but I will do all I can to allay their fears.
Is there anything I can do to make your job easier?
Explore the grounds. Let yourself be seen. The delegates need to put a face to the legends. I have much to do, but let me say this. I may no longer be your spy master, but I am always here if you require.
I'm glad you finally arrived, Inquisitor. The Crown's anxious for news.
And your thoughts on Ferelden's position?
The breach is long gone, yet Skyhold's army remains. Ferelden can't continue to ignore soldiers on its borders.
The Inquisition must have a military arm, Altegan.
In your position, I would want the same. That does not mean it reassures me. A power without allegiance to either Ferelden or Orlais? Even I see neither of our countries can let it rest. I won't keep you longer. We'll have words enough when the Exalted Council begins.
Will you walk with me? The first time I came to the Winter Palace, I was only 18. I was dazzled. Such rich hangings, splendid marble columns, more golden lions than I could count. It's all still here, still bright, but I no longer see that same palace.
Everything changes. People, most of all.
Yes. Now all I see are hands rubbed raw to make gold gleam, tears shed in the night over silk embroidery. Others overlook them and forget their pain, but I am divine and I cannot be blind. They seek to tear the Inquisition down. You feel it, no? Fear.
Have we not made enough allies?
If friends were easily made and kept, we wouldn't need diplomacy. Our allies can be cordial to our faces and still dread the future. They are afraid of nothing so much as the hand that directs it all.
Mine.
Already your actions have begun to reshape Thaddeus. Your influence is felt everywhere. It was only a matter of time before they moved. I'm surprised it took this long. The Inquisition's time is coming to an end.
Is that the decree of Her Perfection Divine Victoria? That the Inquisition be dissolved?
As divine, it is my duty to think of Thedas and all our peoples. We set out to restore peace, and now peace is upon us. You and I have come so far through the darkness together, it is time for us both to live in the light. But whatever you decide, I will be honored to stand beside you.
Ole is on your side, Lord Parvis. The Inquisition's support is not a thing to lose lightly.
Which is why the Orlesian court is circling it with a net and collar? But you'll have to excuse me. I see an old friend I must greet. Inquisitor, how long has it been? Don't actually tell me. I despise feeling old. It's good to see you, my friend.
You arrived ahead of me. I hope all's well.
It's everything I expected. We've been spared the burden of surprise. Orlais wants the Inquisition tamed, Ferelden wants it gone, the Chantry meddles, and Tevinter sends but one ambassador. That's me, by the way. A reward for my interest in the South. Thankfully, Ambassador Pavis is a token appointment. Call on me as you like.
Inquisitor, Duke Cyril Montfort, member of the Council of Heralds and Lord of Chateau Haine. I have long followed your work. It is extraordinary.
Is that sentiment shared by the rest of the court?
Of course. Ole wishes only to offer respectful guidance to the Inquisition.
The Inquisition's grown. It would be shocking if they didn't find us a threat.
Yet you've started no major wars. The Inquisition is a very considerate rival. I have not forgotten Justinia's death. I had friends who perished at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. More than the good you have done, it is a good we may do together I don't wish to lose. Whatever happens, Inquisitor, I wish you well.
As the most eloquent dwarf you know, Sparkles...
Speech! Speech! Way too much speech.
Varric, there's really no need.
What's going on?
Inquisitor! You're just in time. Sparkles, the Imperium doesn't deserve you, or want you. It may even kill you, but we'll miss you, if it counts. And you didn't know. Okay, folks. Time to take the party elsewhere.
Tama never wanted any. I swear.
Leave him.
It's true. When the Exalted Council has ended, I'm going back to Tevinter. For good, this time.
You know I'll miss you.
Naturally. My father is dead. Assassinated, I believe. I received notice this morning. A perversely cheerful letter congratulating me on assuming his seat in the Magisterium. We only met a few times while I was home. He didn't say anything about keeping me as his heir. This ambassadorship, his doing, I'm told. He must have wanted me away when the trouble began. I have to go back.
So you'll truly be a Magister?
Oh, yes. I can't wait to degrade the Magisterium with my presence. A new outfit is required.
And then what?
I find my father's killers and kill them back. Then I find those giving Tevinter a bad name and kill them. They're most likely the same people, so that should make the job easier.
You'll need help. I could go with you.
Not this time, my friend. I won't be entirely without support. Maeveris has gathered other magisters who feel as we do. We'll be an actual faction in the Magisterium. I'll teach them manners, take them shopping. It'll be fun.
I know it was complicated, but I'm sorry about your father.
Thank you. It still doesn't feel real.
I wish you safe travels, and the best of luck.
Oh, I'll need it, thank you. Magisters are tricksy bastards. A present. A going-away present. It's a sending crystal. Amazing what friendship with the Inquisition gives you access to. If I get in over my head, or you're overwhelmed with sorrow for lack of my velvety voice... magic. What? You didn't think I would just leave and you'd never hear from me again, did you? You are my dearest friend. Perhaps my only friend. That will never change, no matter where we are. Now let's finish the good wine before the others get back.
Thank you, Your Holiness. Now, Artigan, as to your concerns...
The Inquisition established an armed presence in Ferelden territory. You outright seized Caer Bronach in Crestwood.
Our goal was to keep more Ferelden citizens from dying, not to seize power.
Your help was appreciated 2 years ago, Inquisitor. Now order has been restored, yet you remain. Invading under pretext of restoring order is exactly what the Grey Wardens did to us centuries ago, and we exiled them. Now the Inquisition is doing the same thing, with Grey Wardens in their ranks.
Your concern is ill-founded. The Grey Wardens have proven their worth time and again.
Of course Orlais tolerates this interference. Without the Inquisition, Celine would have neither her throne nor her elven... marquise.
Rest assured, Tegan, the Empire of Orlais will not stand idle if the Inquisition oversteps its bounds. Unlike Ferelden, however, Orlais understands that these were the well-intentioned mistakes of a young organization.
An organization in need of a guiding hand. Yours, no doubt.
Pardon me, Inquisitor. Divine Victoria wishes to speak with you in private.
The Divine Victoria? Who is sitting just up there?
Yes, and who was once your spy master. It's a pressing matter, your worship.
Something has come up. I'll be back. What?
This is highly irregular.
Perhaps it would be best if we took a short recess. The guard said we should both see this. I believe she was correct. A Canary warrior in full armor. How did he get into the Winter Palace?
So, what would the left hand of the Divine see when she looked at this?
This is a warrior, not a spy. Part of the Antam, the Canary military. Most of his wounds come from a fight against someone using magic, but at least a few are from a blade. He was badly hurt, separated from his allies, and made it here before he died. But how?
Would the Iron Bull know anything about this?
I asked, and he is as surprised as we are. Since becoming Talvashoth, he has had no contact with his people. He seems frustrated at not knowing more.
We need to find out what's going on. Can Josephine manage the diplomats while I look around?
She will be fine. It's all speeches and posturing for the first few days anyway. I will extend the recess as long as possible. I will also have our friends ready themselves for battle if need be.
You think that's likely?
I think the Exalted Council may be more exciting than we expected.
An active Illuvian. If I'm going through it, I'm not going alone. This is the crossroads. Morrigan brought me here while showing me the alluvians. I'd forgotten all the colors.
What are you talking about? Everything's all gray.
I wonder if it somehow looks different to elves. Elven ruins. I'm not sure we're even in Orlais anymore. Another Kunari, dressed like the one in the Winter Palace.
He's part of their military, dressed for war.
Scorch marks everywhere. This is the work of a mage.
A powerful one. I can still feel the heat crackling.
We need to find out why these Kunari were here and who did this to them.
The elves bound a spirit here. It feels old. Very old.
What does it want? I think I know what to say. Milana de Thabarin. Rivas vir Anaris.
Seemed to work. What did you say?
It was part of a ritual. A secret greeting from those Fen'Harel trusted. If Mithal's Well of Sorrows knew this, were they close? Friends, or... I'm not sure. That was like Veilfire. It claimed this was a refuge for elven slaves.
You mean the ancient elves kept slaves? Maker's breath. One more thing never to tell Daisy.
This whole valley was a sanctuary created by the Dreadwolf Fen'Harel. This doesn't make sense. In Dalish legends, Fen'Harel is our god of misfortune. That alluvian only took us a short distance. That's the same lake we saw from the other tower.
So the old elves had many uses for these devices.
This is Fen'Harel helping former slaves as a mortal, not a god.
He took great pains to renounce his supposed divinity.
Ordinary guy saves people, accidentally founds religion. Sounds a lot like the chant, actually.
Fen'Harel sounds like quite the rebel. The old elven gods must have simply loved that.
This claims the elven gods were just Evanuris, powerful, but completely mortal mages.
Was this the start of an uprising? Freed elven slaves against their former masters?
If that's true, Fen'Harel was teaching these freed slaves the truth about these false gods.
Everything okay?
It felt like the anchor stung me. This looks like it fits into that pedestal by the broken bridge. Why did those Kunari attack the Inquisition on sight?
Kunari never act without orders. A commander in the Qun must have given them.
Are you saying the entire Kunari nation wants us dead?
Well, at last the Inquisition and Tevinter have something in common.
What's this? Hidden weapons. These freed slaves actually fought back against the Evenuris posing as gods.
Interesting word, Evenuris. If all it means is mage leader, well, they were basically magisters.
This letter says the Kunari... Let's look for anything that explains why the Kunari came here before we go.
It's been too long since we've traveled together. I've missed it.
Oh, missed
It. I said I missed it. Oh.
A note about an unknown intruder coming through an alluvion. They turned spirits against us, then fled.
It must be a mage. They killed any Kunari in the way and let the spirits do the rest.
Two parties then. The Kunari, and a mystery agent determined to stop them. Come on, we have to warn people about the Kunari's designs on the Winter Palace.
One dead Kunari was bad enough. Now we have more, and they're hostile.
This makes no sense. The Kunari may not be friendly to the Inquisition, but they have no reason to attack us.
They also have no reason to be here, or using illuvians at all.
I've had the mirror placed under guard for now, Your Holiness.
Cullen, please just call me Liliana.
Yes, Liliana.
It appears the relative peace and quiet of the last 2 years is coming to an end.
First the Blight, then Mages and Templars, then Corypheus, and now this. Can't we go 10 years without the world falling to pieces?
We must ensure that the Kunari do not disrupt the negotiations. The Exalted Council is in a very delicate state.
I'm certain you can soothe the nobles' ruffled feathers while we solve the real problem.
Not when the Inquisitor insults everyone present by walking out in the middle of the talks. Our only advantage is that Orlais and Ferelden are divided in goal and grievance. If they unite against us, Divine Victoria will have no choice but to support their claims. We could lose everything.
I know we're asking a lot of you, Ambassador. I promise we won't make this any harder for you than necessary.
My apologies. I will attend to the Exalted Council.
And while Josie does that, we will investigate.
We, Your Holiness?
You do, Josie?
I'll head back to the crossroads. We need to find out what the Kunari are doing and why they attacked.
And I'll have a quiet word with our honor guard.
Those Kunari can't have gotten far. Be ready.
Here.
We need to find out what these Kunari were up to. So let's go see, shall we? Looks like there was a bad cave-in. Look at all that. The Kunari have a huge operation here.
But why?
This place isn't stable.
Once again, your mark is glowing. Are you all right?
Well, maybe the anchor can make itself useful down here.
Great. We're in the deep roads. I feel myself getting dwarfier by the minute. Did I just sprout a beard?
Yes, yes. You hate the deep roads and caves and the outdoors.
Orlesian cafes, taverns that are too tiny, slopes of greater than 10 degrees.
Look, I have to complain, or you'll forget I'm here and trip over me. I'm providing a service.
Look, someone up ahead. I think he's human.
Stay back! Oh, wait. Your hand. Are you the Inquisitor?
Odd to find a human down in the deep roads at all, let alone one surrounded by Kunari.
We don't have much time. Please, what the Vidasala is doing, you have to stop her.
The Vidasala?
She's the leader of the Kunari here. She hates magic. Her job was to study it and stop it at all costs. Not anymore. I don't care whether you serve Fen'Harel or not. Someone has to stop her.
Why did the Kunari think that the Inquisition serves Fen'Harel?
I don't know. The Vidasala said it, and well, you're Dalish. It made as much sense as anything. We've had agents of Fen'Harel causing trouble all over the crossroads. Sabotage, making spirits attack us. I assume the Inquisition was their army. That you came here because Fen'Harel told you to.
Who are you exactly?
My name is Jeren. Sir Jeren, once. I was a Templar in Kirkwall, until I joined the Qun.
You're Kunari?
Kirkwall was madness, chaos. The Kunari were like the eye of a storm. I stand for order and discipline, protecting the innocent from magic. But this plan, it's as mad as Meredith ever was.
What do you mean? This Vidasala's not doing her job anymore?
Almost a complete reversal, actually. This place is a lyrium mining and processing center. The Kunari need it for... Have you ever heard of Sarabas? It's a mage. Except Kunari mages are much more dangerous than those among humans or elves. Even as a Templar, I'd never seen anything like the power Sarabas can unleash. And now Vidasala is giving them lyrium. A lot of lyrium. It's part of something she calls Dragon's Breath. There's more to it than that, but I couldn't find out what. The Kunari don't like it when you ask too many questions.
Where are we? Why are there elven mirrors in the deep roads?
This place is close to something like a lyrium spring. The more we mine, the more there seems to be. As for the mirrors, I don't know. Maybe the elves were mining here too.
What are you doing down here?
The Kunari wanted me to teach them everything I knew about lyrium. Where it comes from, everything it can do, how we put it to use.
I knew enough from my time in the Order. They figured out more. I'm not sure how. Maybe they got to the Carter.
The Kunari can't be mining their own lyrium. It kills anyone who tries, other than dwarves.
It killed the Kunari at first. But Kunari workers have a discipline only Tranquil can match. And they're quick learners. They figured it out.
That's not seriously the name of the plan, is it? Dragon's Breath.
You know that most Dragon's Breath destroys everything in its path, right? She said it would save the South. That can mean only one thing. An invasion. This mine is the only source of lyrium the Kunari have. They're using Gatlock, the explosive powder in the round casks, to mine, so they don't have to touch raw lyrium. If you get the primers from Central Supply, you can prime the Gatlock and detonate it. The mines will go up in flames.
All right, I'll try to stop them here.
I doubt my blessing counts for much now, but make her watch over you. Deep Stalkers and Cave-ins will cut off reinforcements, but they'll still come when they hear trouble. You've got to find the Vidasala to end this war before it begins.
There's no telling how bad things will get when I destroy the mine. You'd better get moving.
I will. Good luck, Inquisitor.
Let's go. We have a lyrium mine to ruin. We've got the primers. Let's go explode some Gatlock. And warn the others about this Dragon's Breath plan.
Good. Let's move before this place fills entirely with water.
Poor man. He didn't make it far. So, who gets to tell Cullen and Josephine we're probably at war with the Kyun? Anyone?
I'll tell them if you want, but they'll probably think I'm lying.
Ugh, they're going to kill me.
Dragon's Breath. The Kunari always enjoy their metaphors.
But what does it mean?
Who knows? Kunari agents moving through Illuvians to attack the south is bad enough already.
I still do not understand why they accused the Inquisition of serving Fen'Harel.
We know that Mythal actually exists. It's possible Fen'Harel is still here in some form, too.
What you describe in the ruins certainly implies that the Dread Wolf of Elven legend is a real person.
But how does that implicate us? What made them decide that the Inquisition serves this Fen'Harel?
Hopefully we will learn more after we have stopped them.
Let's see the Exalted Council try to disband the Inquisition after we've saved them from this Dragon's Breath.
We must find out what Dragon's Breath is first. For now, our only lead is the Qunari leader, the Vidisala.
Gentlemen!
My apologies, Lady Josephine. There has been an incident with one of your soldiers.
How dare you? It was bad enough that the Inquisition chose not to inform the Exalted Council of the Qunari Corps.
Ole would have been happy to help with the matter.
But now your own guards are attacking servants? You have overstepped your bounds.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention, gentlemen. I'll see to this personally.
Thank you, Inquisitor. Ole stands ready to assist the Inquisition, as always.
Secrets and lies. Do you understand why we fear your Inquisition? You act as if you're the solution to every problem. How long before you drag us into another war?
What's going on here?
The Orlesians tried to take one of our people, Inquisitor. We've secured the area.
This is the Winter Palace. You cannot simply seize control when one of your guards attacks a servant.
The Inquisition is handling this. When some noble commits a crime of fashion, you can take over.
I only asked what he was doing.
And when I refused to bow to the Inquisition's dogs, you attacked me! How would you like us to handle the situation, Inquisitor?
That barrel there, where did it come from?
I was ordered to bring wine for the guests.
You're lying.
Your Inquisition soldiers are completely out of control.
No, we're in control. Keep talking and you'll find yourself in chains.
I apologize for my guard's actions. My people will take her into custody with your permission.
As you say, Inquisitor, Lord Cyril will hear about this.
Inquisitor, I also found this by the barrel. I can't read the language.
Did you resolve the problem with the guard?
The guard is the least of our problems. Someone smuggled Gatlock barrels into the Winter Palace.
Smile, Inquisitor. There are many eyes upon us. At least now we know the true extent of the Dragon's Breath.
How are you still smiling?
Years of training as a bard, Inquisitor. We cannot show weakness now. Enemies could be watching, or we can let them seize idle conversation between two friends.
You think the Dragon's Breath is these Gatlock barrels?
Of course. A surprise attack, even through the Illuvians, would have met fierce resistance. But if everyone at the Exalted Council died in an explosion, the South would be rudderless, vulnerable to attack. This is what Corypheus should have done after the explosion at the Temple of Sacred Ashes. An attack as swift and unstoppable as the breath of a dragon.
The guard who confronted the servant said she found this note near one of the barrels. It looks like Qunari writing.
Let me see. I picked some up from the Iron Bull, though I'm told my accent is atrocious. These are orders for positioning the Gatlock in the palace. When duty has been performed, report to the Vidisala through the mirror marked by a bookcase.
I've been hoping to meet the esteemed Vidisala. How nice of her to invite us over.
Good. While you do that, I will have agents locate the Gatlock barrels and remove them safely. I will also send word to my foreign contacts. We must see where else this dragon could strike.
An alluvion marked by a bookshelf. This should be it.
Let us get answers from this Vidisala.
Is this some sort of old elven library?
It definitely saw a massive magical backlash some time ago.
Let's hope we can track down the Vidisala in all this.
Andaran Atishan, Methadra Elven.
More ancient Elven.
If you wish, honored Elven, I will speak so your guests understand. I am study. I am a learning thirst. Come, know what has not been lost. New words. New stories. The Kunari would not approach, but we learned their words as well. If you wish to exchange knowledge, they congregate by the lower gate.
What did the old elves use this place for?
This is the Vir Dirthara, the living knowledge of the Empire. The libraries of every city, the wisdom of every court. A connecting place whose paths are in disarray.
What put this place into disarray?
The Vir Dirthara was made with world and fade. When they sundered, so did we. Paths broke, knowledge fragmented, many were trapped. I preserve their last words.
What were these old elves' last words?
What happened? Where are the paths? Where are the paths? God save me, the floor is gone. Do not let me fall. Do not let me... on this spot, that is all.
I'm looking for a Kunari named Vidasala. Do you know what she wants here?
Vidasala, yes. She uses scholars and mages for study. They fear this place, but they seek to know the Veil.
What does Vidasala want to know about the Veil?
I regret I do not have more information. I am sundered from myself. If you discover another one of me nearer the Kunari, I may know more. Kindly give it my greetings. I have not thought with myself for some time.
I could learn so much about my people. What were they like? How long is our history?
I will try to recall, honored patron, but there are gaps, breaks. Greetings, laughter, Ema Enasal, forms out of air, light, memories. And yet there are so many broken parts at every... missing. I cannot. There is no more. Apologies. I knew all once. We knew. With the break, only fragments or knowledge new since the fall.
We'll be going now.
Know this. An unknown person, not of the Kunari, recently woke the librarians.
An unknown person. Could this be our agent of Fen'Harel?
The librarians facilitated learning before the fracture, before the fall. Now, beware them. They are unwell.
These Kunari are dead, but there's not a mark on them.
Look at their eyes. They died in fear.
Welcome. Listen to the last words of those who lived past the fall. How could the dread wolf cast a veil between the world that wakes and the world that dreams? The Evenuris will send people. They will save us. When have you last heard from the gods? When the veil came down, they went silent. What is this veil? What has Fen'Harel done?
Are these records saying Fen'Harel created the veil between our world and the Fade?
If it's true, that means the Fade and the waking world were once one and the same.
These blocks are heading toward that upside-down median.
Can we trust this magic?
It's a place of learning. Maybe this Vir Dirthara is helping us find what we need.
Inquisitor, we must look at your hand.
The pain stopped.
It keeps coming back.
Listen to the last words of those who walked this place. If we get out of here, I will end Fen'Harel. After he held back the sky to imprison the gods, the dread wolf disappeared. Lies. We must tear down the veil, the cities, the pathways. Without magic, they're crumbling. You're wasting your time. Fen'Haral's veil has turned our empire to ruins.
So, the ancient Elven Empire collapsed because the veil weakened magic.
If what we're hearing is true, this would have been a disaster beyond measure.
Do you realize what this means? What this place is? The actual history of the elves could change everything. Look at this place. Now that we have so many samples, how hard would it be to build Illuvians of our own?
Oh, I knew this one apostate in Kirkwall you would have gotten along with like a house on fire.
After these past few years, it would just be good to create something magical that is also helpful for a change.
Is that wise?
If I get around to it, I'll send you an Illuvian, Cassandra. Striking women can never be flattered by too many reflections.
If you get around to it, shall I be forced to accept?
If they're gonna stuff me into politics, I've got to have some fun on the side.
That should be enough stairs. Let's see if we can reach the inverted Illuvian now. They're the librarians.
Not good.
Viramalas, Chimera Melva. Ilas Denar.
Survivor of the Breach, Herald of Change, Hero of the South.
The Vidasala, I presume.
After fulfilling your purpose at the Breach, it is astonishing to hear you still walked free among your people. Your duty is done, Inquisitor. It is time to end your magic.
I've defeated all your Ben Hasrath so far.
So you have. The repercussions have already begun. I am no stranger to catastrophe, but this chaos in the south defies comprehension. The Qun left your people to curb your own magic. You've amply proven we should have stepped in long ago.
Corypheus had a one-of-a-kind artifact. The Veil is safe.
Do you believe closing the breach solved everything? That its consequences stopped there? The day we saw the breach, the Qun decided its action. We would remove your leaders and spare those who toil. This agent of Fen'Harel has disrupted everything. Lives that were to be spared, lost for him.
Who is this agent? Why do you think they work for the Inquisition?
Kill the Inquisitor, then follow me to the Dargarad.
These are Vidisala's papers. She brought mages here to research strengthening the Veil. It explains why the Qunari thought it was worth camping here. No wonder the Qunari translated notes into our language. It was for their non-Qunari spies.
Visitors, patrons, welcome. The halls are open.
Can you tell me where a Qunari called Vidisala went?
Yes, we heard much. Although she fooled herself into thinking we could not hear. Take a keystone to the Darvarad. I will join you there soon and take stock of our remaining Gatlock powder.
I found a keystone with one of the Qunari.
Yes, and you need words for their key. Maras Nira. It glows. It will open the way to the Darvarad. May you find what you seek. In coming here, you strengthen the bonds. I can now raise one, if you wish to go.
You've been very helpful.
Gil Dethan was what the Elven called me. One who guides seekers of knowledge true. I was connection. One city could read the records of another. One Elven feel the memories of another. When the Veil fell upon us, I marked the end of all they knew.
We've got to find the Darvarad and corner Vidisala there.
Your agents confirm there are Gatlock battles in Denerim's palace?
Yes, and in Val Royeaux and across the Free Marches. The Winter Palace is not the only target.
The Qunari are one order from destroying every noble house in the known world.
There is a bright side. Warning the ambassadors will remind them of the Inquisition's value.
Not when the Inquisition is responsible for that threat.
They came in through us?
Yes.
How, damn it?
The elven servant handling the barrels has disappeared. Notes in his quarters suggest he was a Qunari spy.
But the servant was Orlesian. That implicates Orlais, not us.
But the barrels arrived at the Winter Palace on the Inquisition supply manifest.
How are we supposed to fight a war when we can't even trust our own people?
Do you know who got the barrels onto the Inquisition manifest?
Yes, several of the Inquisition's elven workers have gone missing. I had their backgrounds checked. They joined the Inquisition after fleeing the chaos in Kirkwall.
I remember when Kirkwall was at its worst. Many of the city's elves converted to the Qun, trying to find a better life.
And the Qunari turned them into spies.
The Inquisition stopped Corypheus and saved the world. We can't let an outside threat change who we are.
I fought to protect the Inquisition in this exalted council. And for what? So we could deceive and threaten those we claimed to protect?
Once we locate the spies...
This isn't about the spies. You hid the Qunari body. You've all but seized control of the Winter Palace.
We did what was right, not what was politically convenient.
Do you know what this has cost us with Orlais and Ferelden? They are planning to dismantle us as we speak. And perhaps they are right.
So, it's been getting worse. I don't know why. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how much time I've got left. What I do know is that the Qunari need to be stopped. So I need to get to the Davarad while I can still fight.
Thank you, Inquisitor.
Would you like us to inform the Exalted Council of the danger?
Yes. If we fail, the Exalted Council needs to know what happened.
I will inform them personally.
Leliana, I can...
No, your job is hard enough already. This is my responsibility.
I'll have guards ready at the Alluvion, in case the Qunari attack the palace.
Make her watch over you.
So this is the Davarad.
Look at this. It's an Alluvion graveyard.
Where did the Qunari get all these? How long have they been studying Alluvians? The sooner we stop this invasion plan, the better.
That's it. Get them all like that and we're in.
It's open. Let's go. Dragon's breath is... an actual dragon?
Tether! Bars!
Inquisition! Nira Tasia Sara! Miraba Sadim Kata! You have come far enough, Inquisitor. No more.
Qunari obviously need the dragon's venom. No dragon, no more companion.
Her captors have already mutilated her. It seems needlessly cruel to kill her.
We will not! You cut down the attack.
If we can move these rings, we can let the dragon loose.
Akashi Itwa, Kerasam! Ishara!
Barriers are set. Now we just need to open the gate.
Got it. It's opening.
Merala Sadim Kata! Hashara! Dear Inquisitor, you have such little time left. You must finally see the truth. Elven magic already tore the sky apart. If the agents of Fen Harel are not stopped, you will shatter the world as well.
The Inquisition has nothing to do with these agents.
Come, Inquisitor. I am the eyes and ears of the Qunari people. Do you think you can deceive me? You would have died from the mark on your hand, but for the help of one of their chief agents. The same agent who helped seal the breach, who led you to Skyhold, who gave Corypheus the orb, then founded the Inquisition. Soulless, agent of Fen Harel.
What?
Whatever Solus is involved in, I am nobody's puppet.
Even now, you refuse to see the strings. Soulless tricked us all. He pushed a dying Qunari into the Winter Palace to lure you into opposing us. Without him, we could have brought the South peace and wisdom along the gentle path. Now we must take the way of blades. Hannah Hayden, Inquisitor. If it is any consolation, Solus will not outlive you.
That's why Solus left. He's been helping us fight the Kunari all this time. We have to save him.
The Vidasala cannot have gotten far.
There, up ahead.
It's going to! Everyone back!
If it keeps up like this, it will kill you. Solus must help, as he did at Haven.
Chuckles, who apparently works for Fen'Harel. It's always the quiet ones.
That must be where Solus is.
There's the big Sarabas who's always with the Vidasala.
Cerebus, Rathrol,
big guy's headed our way.
Be ready. They have reinforcements.
Following orders.
You will not leave here, Inquisitor. Antam, Ibrasha Gadi! finish this! You are dead, Inquisitor! Your soul is dust!
Ebesit kata, etwa ost.
Maraskata!
Your forces have failed. Leave now and tell the Canary to trouble me no further.
Solus.
That should give us more time. I suspect you have questions.
The Kunari answered some of those questions. The information I found while traveling through the Illuvians answered more. You're Fen'Harel. You're the Dread Wolf.
Well done. I was Solus first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. And now you know. What is the old Baelish curse? May the Dread Wolf take you?
Are you a fragment of what Fen'Harel once was? Like Mythal?
No. This is all I have ever been.
And the legends?
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen'Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
How did creating the Veil destroy the world?
You saw the remains of Via Dathara. The library was intrinsically tied to the Fade, and the Veil destroyed it. There were countless other marvels, all dependent on the presence of the Fade, all destroyed. Your legends are half right. We were immortal. It was not the arrival of humans that caused us to begin aging. It was me. The Veil took everything from the elves, even themselves.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evenurus would have destroyed the entire world.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythal, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evenurus are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. Crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evenurus.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
The Evenurus were elven mages. How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evenurus.
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evenurus down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the Elven people. even if it means this world must die.
Let me help you, Solus.
I cannot do that to you, Vernan.
But you would do it to yourself? I cannot bear to think of you alone.
I walk the Dinan Shiral. There is only death on this journey. I would not have you see what I become. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
The Qunari said the Inquisition was unknowingly working for agents of Fen'Harel.
I gave no orders.
You led us to Skyhold.
Corypheus should have died unlocking my orb. When he survived, my plans were thrown into chaos. When you survived, I saw the Inquisition as the best hope this world had of stopping him. And you needed a home. Hence, Skyhold.
You gave your orb to Corypheus?
Not directly. My agents allowed the Venatori to locate it. The orb had built up magical energy while I lay unconscious for millennia. I was not powerful enough to open it. The plan was for Corypheus to unlock it, and for the resulting explosion to kill him. Then I would claim the orb. I did not foresee a Tevinter Magister having learned the secret of effective immortality.
What would have happened if Corypheus had died, and you'd recovered the orb?
I would have entered the Fade using the mark you now bear. Then I would have torn down the veil. As this world burned in the raw chaos, I would have restored the world of my time. The world of the elves.
If you destroyed the veil, wouldn't the false gods be freed?
I had plans.
I never thought of you as someone who would do that, Solus.
Thank you. You must understand. I awoke in a world where the veil had blocked most people's conscious connection to the Fade. It was like walking through a world of tranquil.
We aren't even people to you?
Not at first. You showed me that I was wrong. Again. That does not make what must come next any easier.
You never cared about us. We were the means to an end.
You were people, and you deserved better. Like all the rest I've used in one hopeless battle after another.
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
You created a powerful organization. And now it suffers the inevitable fate of such. Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Do you know how I discovered the Qunari plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Qunari spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Qunari body? Who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel? Mine.
Why bother disrupting the Qunari plot if you're going to destroy the world regardless?
You have shown me that there is value in this world, Inquisitor. I take no joy in what I must do. Until that day comes, I would see those recovering from the breach free of the Qun.
Why?
Because I am not a monster. If they must die, I would rather they die in comfort. In any event, it is done.
I guess we owe you for that one too.
I hope it gives your people some final peace.
You control the Illuvians now?
Yes. You remember Briala from Halam Shiral? For a time, she controlled part of the labyrinth. One of my agents was supposed to take it from her, but he did not succeed. I had to override the magic personally. The Qunari stumbled upon this section independently. With them gone, the Illuvians are now mine.
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
I know, Vernan. And we are running out of time. The mark will eventually kill you. Drawing you here gave me the chance to save you. At least for now.
Solus. Varlath vir Suladin.
I wish it could for none. My love. I will never forget you.
Something must be done, but we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
The Inquisition did not cause this threat. We informed the Summit of the danger.
The danger posed by Canary spies inside your organization.
Without our organization, you would not be allowed to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
You all know what this is? A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. The Inquisition saved the people of Ferelden when you couldn't. We are not disbanding. And we are certainly not submitting to an emperor who only sits on his throne because we put him there. There's worse coming than anything you've yet seen. So we'll play nice. We'll bow. But not to you. The Inquisition will act as Divine Victoria's personal honor guard. Answering directly to her, we will transition from a military force into a peacekeeping organization. My own adventuring days may be done, but the Inquisition and its mission will continue.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
Maintaining the Inquisition, even as a peacekeeping force, leaves us vulnerable to agents of the Dread Wolf.
But also gives us the strength to respond.
We will need to be careful.
Solus knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will save our friend from himself. If we can.